Hi and welcome. I'm trying to learn Biographyology today, Saint Anne, and after we've done that, we're gonna do Neckstretching. And if you participate in the Neckstretching, then it's finished. This is part 2. Okay, we've read through it all, and now we try to gather all the information together and prepare a presentation about it. So Saint Anne, the feast day is the 26th July, 26th July, and the symbol is the lily and also holding infant Mary. Symbols in art. The symbols in art are a lily and also to hold the infant Mary. Patronage, and she's the patronage of housewives, childless couples, of pregnancy, of women in labor, of pregnancy and women in labor, grandparents and cabinet makers, and of Canada. It's a long list. Housewives and childless couples, and pregnancy and women in labor. Housewives, childless couples, grandparents, pregnancy, women in labor, Canada, and cabinet makers. Okay, let's go on. Paintings are, for example, Giotto di Pontone's Annunciation to Saint Anne, to rename it. We have to make it from memory, so we don't have a book to write it down. Annunciation to Saint Anne, Giotto di Pontone. Giotto di Pontone. Why not Annunciation to Saint Anne? That helps a lot to remember. So, Annunciation to Saint Anne. For example, where the paintings made, the symbols are the lily in art and also to hold the infant Mary, and Giotto di Pontone has made a painting called the Annunciation to Saint Anne. And there was also Albert Dürrich, who made Saint Anne the Virgin and Child. And here, Giotto di Pontone has a meeting at the Golden Gate also. And we could end actually of Prophet, that is meant of Prophet. Let's go to the next one. Blessed Virgin Mary, Mother of Jesus. Other titles include Our Lady, Madonna, Queen of Heaven, Mother of God, Immaculate Conception, Mediatrix of all graces. Let's take another one. Martha, Sister of Mary and Lazarus of Bethany, showed frequent hospitality to Jesus. We could say the Mother of Virgin Mary, but I think we're going to explain it in the whole story better. Okay, Giotto di Pontone has made, for example, paintings. One is the Meeting at the Golden Gate, the other an Annunciation to Saint Anne. And Albert Dürrich had made also a picture, for example, a painting, Saint Anne with the Virgin and Child. Saint Anne with the Virgin and Child. In art overall, the symbols are the lily and to hold the infant Mary. She's patronage of housewives, of childless couples, of grandparents, of cabinet makers, Canada, and pregnancy and women in labor. And her feast day is the 26th July. Now, and what is known about her is from the Book of James. It's from the book of James. And in that it is accounted, according to this account, is it possible to say it? It is accounted. And in that is said that Anne was married together with Joachim, and who were a member of a respectable priestly class of Levites. But this is not about Joachim. Anne was married to Joachim. I think these are too many facts. Anne was married to Joachim. And they lived a virtuous and happy marriage or relationship, but they were childless. Being in mind that the principal purpose of Jewish marriage in ancient Palestine was to bear children, and that not to do so implied divine displeasure. Divine displeasure, we're going to take that as our word. There was considerable social stigma attached to their barrenness. Is barrenness the name for that? I came across the name a couple of times, but I don't know what it means. Okay, they lived happy and virtuous. What's the difference between divine and virtuous? They lived a happy and virtuous marriage, but they were childless, and there was a social stigma around that, because when some people thought that with implied divine displeasure, and that not to do so implied divine displeasure was not to be children, but okay, this is not a final rehearsal. Divine, we want to name the divine displeasure, and then that was a social stigma. A high priest, for instance, is said to have refused to accept Joachim's generous offering at the temple on account of his unworthiness. I don't really understand what is meant here. A generous offering. When suddenly each partner and then Joachim and Anne each individually received, according to the book of James, an angelic visit. Can you just say angel? It's easier. They got an angelic visitation, and it promised them the birth of a daughter. And Anne, happy about that message, ran to greet Joachim and to her husband Joachim, and embraced him at the Golden Gate of Jerusalem. And embraced him then at the Golden Gate of Jerusalem. And thankful for getting a child, they promised to give it to. They vowed to give the expected child to God, to give it to God, and when now this child, Mary, was 3 years old, they gave her to a temple of priests, knowing that we would never see her again. The tradition of Anne's virtuousness grew to a level consistent with her daughter's Immaculate Conception. The Immaculate Conception is here short explained as the doctrine that Mary was born without a taint of original sin. Maybe we don't understand it, so we don't include it. As the 7th century bishop St. John Damascene said of Anne and Joachim, by the chaste and holy life you led together, you have fashioned a level of virginity. As though perhaps their 20 long years of waiting was but a preparation for giving birth to a daughter nobler than the angels, whose queen she now is. We don't really need to include that in our presentation. We have to do it all from memory. So and I wanted actually that people are able to understand it. Without that, it's the whole book. By later medieval times, there was a good deal of interest in the cult of Anne, and many churches are dedicated to Saint Anne. That's a good. Play with Annie. In art, she sometimes depicted teaching her daughter to read. We're going to name here the meeting at the Golden Gate by Giotto di Bondone, Giotto di Bondone, and also Annunciation to Saint Anne, and also Albert Durik's Saint Anne with the Virgin Child. Saint Anne with the Virgin Child. And a similar lily and holding the infant Mary. Her cult flourished particularly in Brittany, northern France, where it replaced worship of the patron mother goddess Nana. We don't include it. We're going to say with them, but you don't really have to do it. And there are many churches dedicated to Saint Anne. I don't know if you say it, then the people then forgot all what we said previously, because that's such a simple and obvious fact. And most people know it probably. Yeah, I forgot what we said previously. So maybe we're going to end with something complex and part of all what we said, basically in one line. And not that one, when it's a bit closed, and then a little thing, and all what we remember is the last little thing. And we probably know it already. We know all the rest. So, what do we end with? But we're not going to do it now, we'll be all the time. Maybe actually with that, when with the quote here, and which there was, for example, the 7th century Bishop St. John said about them that it is as though as if they're waiting 20 long years waiting to get a child was as a preparation for giving birth to a daughter nobler than the angels whose queen she now is. That's a good recapitulation of what we said, and people remember actually what was happening there. Okay, these are the facts we want to say. Basically, we have them now gathered together. In the next part, we try to go over them again, and then we try to save it all down in one presentation from memory. Now, that was a part of biographyology. If you were here for biographyology, you can go to the next part of biographyology, where we will try to do the presentation. Now we will do the neck stretching. If you stand participating in the neck stretching, then it's at the arms. Go to stable stance and we're doing the hydro tower. And breathe in, lift the arms up and reach as far as you can with the fingertips. And out again, down and reach as far as you can. Reach again as far as you can. Lift up, breathe in. And again, down and reach as far as you can. And now reach in front as far as you can. The fingertips reach as far as you can. Reach back as far as you can. The fingertips and the second round. Reach as far as you can. Now have the feet standing together. Arms up to the side. We're doing push up. Pushing to fly around. And next exercise, we'll release of the side. Breathe in, lift the arms up. Without open the arms to the side. Lift the arms up. And out, open to the other side. In and out. And out and down. Now we have to go to the stance, shoulders wide apart with the feet. And breathe in, shoulders back. And out, turn the head over to one side. Breathe again in. And out, bring the chin down to the clavicle. Breathe again in. And out, lift the gaze and bring the head over to the other side. Don't force to the side, just bring the head over as far as it goes. Breathe again in. And out, chin down to the clavicle. Breathe again in. Out, lift the gaze and turn the head again over to the first side. Just as far as it goes. Breathe again in. And out, breathe halfway out, and then circle over to the other side. Breathe again in. Halfway out, and then circle over to the first side. Back in the middle. And now we'll fly. Bring the palms together, and also the elbows together. And now tall up. Lift the arms up as high as you can with moderate effort. And again down. And another time. Lift the arms up. And now, have your hands together. Breathe in, tall up, and breathe out, reach in front. Bring your shoulders from in the head, bring it in and up. And now we're doing it at the same time. And in the middle, and down. Now, the cashew have feet standing together, intertwining fingers, and the back. Breathe in, tall up, shoulders back. And I'll bring the head over to one side. Just bring it over, down, stretch in the direction, and your chin down to the clavicle. Breathe again in. Now pull the hands down to the ground. Again, lift the gaze and turn it over to the other side. Breathe again in. And out, pull the hands, no, not the other way. First, chin onto the clavicle. And now pull the hands down to the ground. Lift the gaze back into the middle. Now we stretch out the knees, and just find the fingers behind the back and bring them over to one side. Breathe again in. And out, head over to one side, and chin down to the clavicle. Breathe again in. And out, pull the arm in and shut it down. And lift the gaze and turn it over. Other side. Hands also over. Breathe again in. Chin down to the clavicle. Pull the arm in and shut it down. And lift the gaze back in. And feet are standing together. We're breathing in, lifting the arms up. And breathe out, lean back, drop it. And drop the shoulder blades together. Again, in and up. Out, leaning and back, drop the shoulder blades together. In and up. Intertwine the fingers and lean back for read movement. Again, in. And out, lean back. Again, in. Out, lean to the side with firm movement. Again, in. Out to the other side. Now cross your arms and turn the fingers. Reach high, screw. Without reaching from out of the back. The drill. Again, in and up. Change the elbow crossing, reach high. Out, reaching from out of the back. Again, in. And out, lean back, long arms for sky hugger. Again, in the arms up. Out, lean back. In and up. Out, the arms down. Breathe again, lift the arms up. Breathe out the arms down. And the last time, the cactus connecting, it stings. Bring the hands to touch now and down towards it. That was for Neckstretching. I thank you very much, and until next time.